Welcome back to Ace Attorney, my Trials and Tribulations, the battle! Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with a staff, but then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive, with her back to the stone lantern. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed.
That was a very heartbreaking story.
I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore.
That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination.
Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff.
Iris, where were you standing when you witnessed all this?
What do you mean?
Well, if either of them had noticed you, they might not have continued their battle.
I wonder if that's true. The two of them, they were standing near the garden's stone lantern. I was watching the whole thing from behind. It was dark where the two of them were, so I think that's why they didn't see me.
So it was dark in the garden when the murder took place. Tell me, what did Miss Maya Fey do after she was struck?
But then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon.
What happened to the victim's staff then?
I'm not sure. The area was very dark, so I really couldn't see. I think it got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated.
That makes sense. That would explain the need for the dagger.
Mystic Elise used the dagger to strike, but Mystic Maya dodged it at the last second. The dagger struck the lantern and fell to the ground. And then at some point, Mystic Maya picked it up.
Nothing sounds especially strange yet.
What did the victim do when the weapon was stolen from her?
Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern.
You're saying that Maya Fey turned the tables on the victim?
Yes. But Mystic Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, life was in danger.
I still can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at knife point, it's just silly.
As they say, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal.
I believe the correct description of a cornered fox is scared and petrified.
Your animal analogies have grown tiresome.
You were the one who started it!
Anyway, so after Maya Fey backed the victim into the stone lantern, what happened next?
That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise.
Are you absolutely certain that's what you saw?
Yes, I'm almost certain.
Almost?
The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who.
What did she just say? So in the other words, it could have been someone else entirely.
We know that Maya Fey was at the inner temple that night, and that the woman who was killed was Elise Stoneham. Isn't it fairly obvious who attacked who?
I don't have anything to counter that yet. Well then, witness, please continue with your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor. The two of them faced each other for a moment. Then Mystic Maya rushed straight into Mystic Elise. And Mystic Elise doubled over and fell to the ground.
So she was stabbed in the stomach, huh?
Yes. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed.
Where did that dagger go?
I have no idea. It was dark and I couldn't see. According to the detective who found the dagger, It was stuck into the pine tree in the garden. Most likely it was flung towards the tree after the struggle.
That is the most likely explanation, yes.
After being stabbed in the stomach, did the victim collapse right away?
Now that I think of it, she seemed to stare at Mystic Maya for a while. And Mystic Maya stood there, not moving an inch. I felt for a moment like time had just stopped. But then, suddenly, as if the spell had worn off, Mystic Elise fell over.
Seems like a reasonable story at first. But there's one thing that is completely impossible. The very idea of Maya stabbing someone. That alone is impossible, which means this faulty testimony must contain another contradiction in it somewhere.
And where is that? Tell me.
Alright, Trex, go.
Okay.
But then she dodged Mr. Elise's next attack and stole her weapon next.
Yes, a dagger, yeah.
Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive, with her back to the stone lantern.
Yeah.
That's when Mystic Maya stabbed. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I thought she was stabbed in the back. Ooh. Something about you just isn't right today, Iris.
Huh?
Until now. I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions.
What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony?
According to you, Maya Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct?
Yes, that's right.
But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right?
Yes, I think so.
But according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her, wait for it, back. This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris, it appears another seed of doubt has sprouted from your testimony.
What? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright?
It's simple. People are like books. They've all got a front and a back. You get my drift?
Is that all you have to say?
I can also say that darkness loves to play with the human mind.
Could you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and illogical metaphors already? The point is, too much of this testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away a useful staff, the people's fighting being mother and daughter, and now she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the stomach. Give me a fucking break. There certainly are,
There certainly are some inconsistencies.
Well, Iris, how about it?
Well, it's just... If you ask me, it's just being too naive about the whole thing.
What do you mean?
There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee, but to pick out each one requires total concentration and the use of all the senses. Are you really concentrating on what this witness really said?
Prosecutor Koto, explain yourself.
The witness was quite unambiguous about her own ambiguities. The witness was quite ambiguous. Fucking goddamn it. The witness was quite unambiguous about her own ambiguities. Why can't I say that word?
You said it right. Ambiguities.
Ambiguities. I'm not getting the we of the gui. Ambiguities. When she said But the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly. A human needs one thing to see clearly, and that is light.
Light.
By the way, did you know it does occur as a rule that on nights when an acolyte is in the inner temple training, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit?
I did wonder what the stone lantern was there for.
Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly?
Normally, yes, Your Honor. But according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light the stone lantern.
Impossible?
It hadn't been used in a long time, and the wick was no good. In other words, it had to have been nearly pitch black in the garden last night. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all.
Most enlightening.
Yes, that eliminated fact has chased all the contradictions away. If the step was dropped, it would be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Isn't that right, trite?
No!
Order! Order! Order!
Here, Your Honor. I will present the stone lantern into evidence. Maybe it'll rekindle the flame of truth in your mind.
Stone lantern! A lantern from the inner temple garden was not lit the night of the crime.
Why is the judge just sitting there with that look on his face?
What's wrong, Your Honor? Was that flame too hot?
This lantern, there's something written on it.
Huh?
Why, it's written in blood.
Oh boy. So the judge didn't know about that yet.
Written? Blood?
It says Maya upside down.
What the? Oh yes, that's right. After being cornered and stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have been writing that on the stone lantern behind her, with the blood that was draining out of her body.
It certainly looks that way.
Hey, Nun. Hang on just a minute. What are you all talking about?
What do you mean? What are we all talking about?
Well, we're talking about the message written in blood.
Nonsense. This lantern is as clean as a whistle.
Could it be... You can't see the bloody writing at all? Now that I think of it, he did say something to me yesterday.
My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything.
So that's what he meant by that.
In any case, this is obviously an important clue. We now know that the crime scene was dark. And that the victim scrawled this message onto the stone lantern. Well, Mr. Goto, anything further? Mr. Goto?
Okay then. Let's move on.
Goto is literally shaking, and somehow I don't think it's from caffeine overdose.
I believe it has now been established that Miss Donham was killed by Maya Fey.
But that's just wrong.
Now it's time to turn our attention to you. Yes, sir. After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears. After Mystic Elise died, I called out the Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Crane tradition. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. And I used a snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple and... He used Shishishita to alter the way the wound looked.
So you moved the body.
Yes, I was raised at Hazakura Temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Fae clan, but even so, I never imagined that Elise Stoneham was actually Mystic Fae. I've committed a terrible sin.
A terrible trick of fate?
I believe you're looking for a twist of fate, Your Honor.
I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body, but... You were spotted by the head nun, correct? Yes, that's why I couldn't go back.
Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya.
So you waited until everything was over before making a move?
No, it's not like that. You saw someone murdered right in front of her eyes. It's not surprising that she was a little timid.
Yes, I suppose that's true. Sometimes when I'm watching lawyers argue back and forth with each other, I feel so helpless that I just sit quietly and wait for them to reach a conclusion.
Isn't it your job as a judge to mediate the arguments?
It wasn't until Mystic Maya saw me that it finally dawned on her what she had done. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Crane tradition.
So then you knew. You knew the significance of the name Maya Fey.
Yes, of course I did.
That's odd. I mean, Sister Bikini didn't recognize Maya's name, let alone her position.
Anyway, she was a very special person indeed. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself.
Why did you do that?
Because I didn't want Mystic Maya to be suspected in any way. I thought the best thing would be to remove the body from the crime scene.
You moved her body all by yourself?
Yes, I did. It could have been impossible if it wasn't for the snow.
The snow, huh?
I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge.
It's pretty amazing you could make it all the way across. That's a rickety old bridge.
It looked worse than it is. It looks worse than this. It's surprisingly sturdy despite its age. It's like they say, idiots are too stupid to catch even a simple cold.
But there's one other thing that bothers me. Why not just throw the body into the Eagle River? It would have been much easier than dragging it all the way to Hazakura Temple.
I thought that it would still cast too much suspicion on Mystic Maya. That's why I tried to take the body as far away as possible. Heh. Makes perfect sense to me. For the time being. Anyway, what did you do after you crossed the bridge? And I used the snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple and...
The snowmobile. I knew that would show up sooner or later.
Yes, I had the key. I knew the snowmobile. To travel, I used the snowmobile to travel from Hazakura Temple to Dusky Bridge.
This is the part that was in question the other day. Should I ask for more details? Yes. About the snowmobile? Let me hear more about this snowmobile ride.
Well, it was very cold that night, so I rode it all the way to the foot of the bridge. I'm sorry, witness, but now, I've got a problem with your testimony. Excuse me?
Godo, what are you up to now?
That night, after the head nun left the remainder of the training to you, she said that she walked from the inner temple back to Hazakura Temple.
Yes, I'm fairly certain that's what the record indicates.
Let's recall her comments on the subject.
Maybe.
Oh, hold on.
Maybe. But when I made it back to Hazakura Temple, it was there by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean.
The snowmobile was in front of the main gate. This is one of those contradictions, wouldn't you say?
Order, Mr. Goto. Why are you pointing out contradiction of the witness's testimony?
Let's just say I like things to be neat and tidy, okay? Well, maybe Sister Bikini missed it. Yes, maybe she didn't see it.
You think she missed it? That doesn't sound right.
Whatever. Even I don't think this is decisive enough to warrant any more time or effort. It's just... you'd better be careful in your testimony. That's all I wanted to say. A smart little cookie like you shouldn't have any trouble understanding that. Yes, sir.
What's that all about? Why would Goto want to give me a hint?
Very well then, let's continue with the testimony. So you transported the body by snowmobile all the way to the Hazakura Temple courtyard?
Yes, I thought that way Mr. Maya would never be suspected. That's what I thought anyway, and then I used the shishi to alter the way the wound looked.
Is that what you were doing when Sister Bikini saw you?
Yes, that's right. You probably thought the worst.
Probably. More like definitely.
I see. So Sister Bikini mistakenly thought you were the one that murdered Miss Darren.
I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. It's my fault that this case has gotten so confusing.
I don't want to believe it, but I don't think my logic is failing me. Iris is trying to pin the murder on Maya. But why would she want to do that? There's only one reason I can think of.
What am I doing?
Right, after Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya.
Yeah.
I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Crane tradition.
Yes.
So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. Now,
Yeah.
I recall Dusky Bridge missing a few planks. Maybe been a little hard to drag a body across the bridge.
Why is it missing a few planks?
Because it's old and rickety and shitty.
There's a bigger problem.
It was on fire.
Yes, it was on fire! Fuck! I did the wrong thing. I was his testimony, that's what I put. You said you went over the bridge! Okay. Try it again. Oh, this is what it did. Oh, fucking penis dick. You'll get it in a second.
Oh, okay.
About the tracks.
If you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right?
Well, yes, naturally you would expect tracks.
This picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are these the tracks from that ride?
Yes, I think they are.
But I can only see one set of tracks here.
I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I left Hazakura Temple.
I see. Snow was still falling, huh?
And then when the murder took place, it had already snapped. That's why there were such fresh-looking tracks.
How about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about this testimony? Oh, it's very important.
When the murder took place, when the nerder lost his lunch, when the murder took place, the snow had already stopped? That doesn't make any sense if you stack it up against the other evidence. Your Honor, I'd like the statement Iris just made added to the testimony.
But does it have something to do with the case?
All will be made clear if you allow her statement to be added to the record.
It should be fun. You, Let's get the snow business cleared up, shall we? Yes, sir. Oh, fucking goddamn it! Don't worry, you'll get satisfaction in a second.
That's what she said.
Yeah!
Oh, yeah! Yeah! You claimed that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred. But I'm sorry, Iris. That just isn't possible.
What?
This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge at that time.
Why do you say that?
Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and had caught on fire.
What did you say? The bridge. It was on fire?
You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It was because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down.
What? It can't. It can't be.
It looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney!
No!
Order! Order! Order!
The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right, the inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed the bridge, body or no body.
Witness, even my patience has its limits. Any further line and I will find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
The only person here that is truly contemptible is you. Old man.
Me? How dare you?
Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean squat right now.
Squat.
The important thing now is to find out the truth. Isn't that right?
Yes, of course, but
Whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not, there were two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elise Dunham was discovered in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. And second, her head none, just a bikini. Witness that was desecrating Elise Dunham's body.
He makes a good point on both accounts.
That's right. I'm not lying.
what are you claiming this time?
I wasn't myself at all that night, so my memory is still somewhat hazy.
You have stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory of that night is hazy?
Is only human to err. If you're so perfect, Trent, maybe you can explain this for the court.
What is it?
When the murder happened, the bridge had already burnt down. But somehow the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick.
Well, not exactly, no. I know there must be some other way she got across that burnt-out bridge. But unless I can somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth.
It looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation.
You see what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest that this lady's testimony isn't the truth.
Ah!
All right then, witness, let's hear your testimony once more.
About what, Your Honor?
You've admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for that to your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
Will this be her final testimony?